Hey folks, this is Kalani. This is a guide to the Silken Court boss fight in the Nerub-ar Palace raid on normal and heroic difficulty. This is the 7th boss in the new raid. You're facing off against 2 bosses at the same time and they do share health, so cleaving them when possible is definitely a good idea. There aren't any specific DPS checks, so feel free to lust on pull. The caster boss will jump around the room, so try to keep the melee boss somewhat near to help out with the cleave. Venomous Rain marks several players with green circles that deal AoE damage, so be sure you spread out with those. The melee boss uses Piercing Strike on their tank, dealing big damage and applying a stacking debuff, so you want to swap bosses to keep this debuff low, which was usually 1 or 2 stacks. They'll also use Impaling Eruption, a huge cone attack that will impale anyone who gets hit, stunning them until the impale spike is destroyed, so don't get hit. The bosses will also summon a few small adds that fixate on a target and chase them. Just kite these through melee so they can be crowd controlled and cleave down quickly. But the most important ability here is Reckless Charge. The melee boss burrows to the side of the room and starts dealing raid-wide AoE damage while preparing to charge to the other side. You can see the big telegraph marking where he's charging. If he hits the other side of the room, he'll deal massive raid-wide AoE damage. To stop this charge, we need to set up a trip line. To do that, we're going to use the Web Bombs ability. These spawn in as big grey swirls on random players. You want to dodge out of the swirls and have 2 players go into one of the web bombs at the same time. They'll get linked together with a web line. You can see a huge circle around you. That's how far you can go before the line breaks. You need to stretch this line across the path of the melee boss's charge to stop them in their tracks. When you entangle the boss, they also take 100% more damage for 12 seconds, so make sure you're damaging the melee boss during that window. On heroic mode, you need to set up 2 sets of the web line to entangle the boss and stop the charge. So you'll need 2 sets of players to get the web bomb lines at the same time. At the start of the intermission, the melee boss disappears for a bit and the caster boss teleports to the middle of the room, shields themselves and starts spreading webs around sections of the room that explode. It looks scary, but it's quite easy to dodge. Watch for where the first slices appear, stand next to them and then move into that section after it explodes. When you break the shield, phase 2 starts. You'll still have to dodge the impaling eruptions, kite and kill the small adds, and tank swap for Piercing Strike. The caster add will start using Strands of Reality, another large cone attack you'll need to dodge. It deals damage and knocks you back, so just don't stand in it. Entropic Desolation is a big AoE around the caster add, so don't stand in that either. And then they also use Web Vortex, where they pull everyone to them and bind players together with the web lines from phase 1. In this phase, you want to break them quickly to stop the damage over time. But the big ability in this phase is Cataclysmic Entropy. The caster add teleports to the middle of the room and starts casting a huge AoE. If they finish the cast, it's almost guaranteed to be a wipe. To interrupt the boss, you'll need to use the Stinging Swarm ability. This is a magic debuff that can be dispelled, but when you dispel it, it jumps to the nearest player, or the caster boss if that's the nearest target. If anyone gets 3 stacks of this buff, they get disoriented, so we need to get all 3 stacks onto the caster boss. The easiest way to do this is to just make a triangle around the boss in the middle. The boss always teleports to the middle of the room for this ability, so you can place markers ahead of time to make positioning easier. You also want your raid to be out of the middle just to make sure no one accidentally gets the debuff. When the 3 debuffs go out, they need to make a triangle around the boss in the middle, and then get dispelled. You can use a mass dispel to clear them all at once, or just single dispel them. When all 3 are transferred to the caster boss, you interrupt the spell and they take 100% more damage for a short time, so take good advantage of that. You don't have very long to get into position and get the dispels off, so you really need to be quick. For the next intermission, the caster boss disappears and the melee boss shields themselves, and then they spam the room with huge circles of impaling spikes. If you get hit, you'll be stunned until the spikes are killed, just like the other impaling ability, so don't get hit. Keep DPSing the boss and break that shield. Then we'll finally enter phase 3, the last phase. It's basically the same as phase 2, except you now also have to deal with the Reckless Charge from phase 1. You don't get any web bombs though, so you'll need to save some web lines from the Vortex pull-in ability. Remember, on heroic you will need 2 lines to stop the charge. But that's everything you should need to take down the Silken Court on normal and heroic. Stay tuned for more boss guides from the Nerub-ar Palace raid. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.